Hello everyone, we have made it to the finale of The Boys. What a journey this has been, and I'm very sad. Season 3, we don't know if it's going to be coming out next year. We do know that it's going to be start filming on February 2021, so we at least know that. So hopefully maybe by the end of the year, maybe early 2022, that's all we can hope for at this point. But with a season 2 out of the way, I am so excited to dive into this last finale episode because this is a great finale. Really, all the chess pieces were moved so perfectly the last episode, and especially even in the beginning of this episode. And now we just get to say goodbye to some of our favorite lovable little fucks that we love watching on the TV. Now, of course, if you guys are new here, though, make sure to comment down below and let me know your guys' thoughts. What was your favorite moment from the season, and in particular this episode? Of course, if you do want a full review of the whole entire season, I do have a non-spoiler review up above in the comment section, or the card section, that's what it's called. I don't really like using those. And also, guys, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you guys enjoy The Boys. I will be doing more Boys content anytime news updates come out, as well as talking about Season 3, and I do tons of TV and movie reviews over here on a daily basis, so I'd love for you guys to also join me over there. Jumping into this episode, I have my notes ready for The Boys finale. And this episode is titled, What I Know. Now, first off, going throughout this episode, this pretty much was an episode planning to kill the Supes. That's what it opens up with. The boys are clicking their guns, figuring out what they can do. And in a sense, Huey and Starlight are trying to be the smart ones. Like, hey, we do not need to kill them all. Let's just make a plan. How can we establish this? And there's a lot of interesting things all inside this episode. But I always like picking out my favorite line or moment throughout the whole entire episode. And definitely, this isn't my favorite moment, but my favorite line in here is when Frenchie and Butcher are talking to Huey, and he goes, it's like Looney Tunes, all you need is an AR-15 and meep meep, and Butcher goes, going to kill the Roadrunner and shoot him in the head. Just that whole little conversation, just brilliant writing all inside there, and I love how they were able to really bring that to life, and again, add so many more details to this, because this is why we love The Boys. We love their type of humor and their banter with one another, and this episode had so much kind of going through it. Like I said, this is definitely a giant chess pieces moving from here to here, moving all the characters in the specific places that we needed them to be by the end of this episode. And there were some coincidences of how certain characters got to interact, which we'll talk about. But of course, the episode opens up with Becca showing up on Butcher's doorstep and begs for help. At the end of the last episode, Stormfront and, of course, Homelander took Becca's child. And the boys agree to back Butcher, and together with Starlight, they finally face off against Homelander and Stormfront, but things go very bad, very fast. Moving these chess pieces, the collective has a really cool discussion here. Of course, we see Carl Esposito really having this great conversation with the main leader. He also has a great conversation with Butcher in here, really having this conversation of like, you keep the kid, that's your contingency plan. I just want Becca and I want Homelander gone. I don't want this kid interacting with them. And Esposito's like, all right, we can do that. And that was the one coincidence thing. Like, how does Butcher get in contact with him? Okay, I guess I can kind of put some pieces together. I did really much like that. I think that is one of the things, though, that it's a little bit interesting to see how Vought behind the scenes, he's letting the main guy, the guy who pretty much wants to kill all your Supes, into the building and have this great conversation. So again, Esposito just kills it every single time in the show. Throughout the beginning of this episode, before we get to the chess pieces moving, you have Starlight meeting up with Huey, and then A-Train getting in the car and giving them the paper, the proof of Stormfront being a Nazi, that coming out now, that Stormfront is a Nazi, right before, of course, flying away and starting the speakers. You have all these little, again, chess pieces moving. The thing that I really liked in here is seeing Homelander try to be dad. As psycho and as sociopath as Homelander is, he's one of the most interesting characters, and in general has performed so well. But the thing that I love seeing about in this episode was him being a dad and actually caring for his kid, and really, even though we don't want him to raise him, it was interesting to see where the kid was going. And of course, he takes him to that McDonald's type area that would definitely be like Disneyland, but Vought, I guess kind of the Rainforest Cafe of anything, and him freaking out about them. So he takes him to the cabin. Stormfront meets him up there. They all have this great discussion, and then, of course, Stormfront zooms away, and the speakers start, and that's where the shit hits the fan. It completely ramps up really fast. Once Stormfront finds out that everyone knows she's a Nazi, and all those memes and propaganda that used to be on her side are now going against her, very interesting to see the least. And really just, again, ramps up fast. The Vought comes in to get, they think Homelander isn't going to be there. They think it's the kid. Nope, they took the kid. They're driving away. Stormfront lands and flips the car and just destroys it. I'm like, no, oh my god, this is bad. And of course, they are okay in the car. They're just trying to survive, and it comes down to be Kimiko, Starlight versus Stormfront. They're having this great action sequence. They're shooting their guns at them. It's really just everyone working together to stop the menacing foes. And of course, then Maeve comes in to save the day, who they had a great conversation with earlier in the episode. Again, just having some great action set pieces and really engaging and on the edge of your seat. This is how you have a finale. And it of course comes down to it's Homelander, Butcher, and Becca. They're trying to get away. They're all on a race to find all this. And of course, well, you know, Stormfront decides to find Becca and the little kid first. And yeah, he blows them both up. Destroys Stormfront. Just destroys her. Burns her body. Kills her. She's dead. And Becca also took the backlash as well. And Becca's last conversation between Butcher really broke my heart. That emotion that Karl Urban had in him throughout this moment was very, again, edge of your seat. And again, just hinged so well on Karl Urban's performance. Again, just breaking me to pieces to see that he lost his love. And just her saying, protect him, protect him. Homelander comes down. It's like the worst timing. He's trying to get the kid. The kid runs the Butcher. Coincidence very much. And Maeve comes in and says, if you ever hurt them or you hurt me or anyone, I will show everyone this video. And he just feels defeated and backs off. And at that point in time, you know, everything kind of just seems very happy. One and all, you know, Starlight is cleared. She's not there, but that leaves for interesting stuff to happen next season, of course, because Starlight and Maeve are pretty much going against Homelander. A-Train is back in the 7, and of course the Deep is still not in the 7. And also with the Collective Church, we see someone's head blow up, which we'll talk about that little cliffhanger in a second. We got the death of Butcher's wife. We got the death of Stormfront. The boys are free as well. Their names are cleared. MM gets to reunite with his family. Huey gets to have a normal life. He actually leaves the boys to go work for someone that we're going to talk about very, very soon. And Butcher, Frenchie, and of course MM are now continuing what they were doing before, working for the government to pretty much patrol the Supes, and I love that to pieces. I love how they built that all up. And again, next season, it's going to be very interesting. And I've never read the comics, so I only know certain little tidbits from the comics, but I'm interested to see where this all goes, and in general, how they really move that through. You find out our little favorite running for office was the one blowing everyone's heads up. Oh, shit. Now, I'm curious if that was in the comic, so if you've read the comic, please let me know down below, because, oh my god, that was a moment. Seeing that she kills the Collective Church, moves through, goes there, and then we see Huey waiting for an interview, and she closes the door, and I said, please don't end, and it cuts the block. I said, fuck, I didn't want it to end there, and that leaves for a giant cliffhanger. This was an excellent episode. Excellent season, and in fact, I particularly like this season more. I'm one of the people that love character development, and this episode really gave me, this whole entire season really gave a lot of character development to every single person. While I didn't love, you know, I didn't in particular love where Huey's storyline started, I love where it ended. I love what they did with Butcher, I love what they did with Homelander, I loved Stormfront. For the most part, Aya Cash was great, but her character in general was a supreme racist, and I'm so happy she's dead. But already knowing what they're doing with the third season, seeing all the casting they're bringing up this next season, this show is starting to become one of my favorite shows of all time, and The Boys season 2 was absolutely a delight. I'm sure many of you guys feel the same way, so make sure to comment down below. Again, let me know your guys' thoughts on this episode. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on your guys' way out, and as well as head on over to Samsung Films on how to see films early. And of course, just a big thank you to you, and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts.